Hello and welcome to episode 2 of Should We Hate This, the podcast where we take mundane things from your day-to-day life and decide whether or not we should hate them. Because thinking for yourself is hard. I'm Scott, and I'm joined by Dan.
Hello.
Today we'll be discussing vanity plates and cyclists. Hey Dan, what comes to mind when I say the term vanity plates?
Ooh, dudes in BMWs that are speeding past me on the freeway.
And what sort of vanity plate does a dude speeding past you on the freeway have?
Probably something like too fast for you or something. But there'll be a 2 in place of 2.
Yeah, that's really annoying. The ones that have too many letters as well, where they've like really tried to force. So they've chosen a word that they want for their number plate, and they've gone on the website, and the number plate that they want is taken.
Absolutely.
So they really like mangle the English language, fit as many numbers in there as they can to try and make this word to the point where it's no longer.
And you really have to break it down.
Yeah,
You've got to
you're
sit
like
there at the traffic lights and be like, what the fuck is this guy? Oh, soccer mum.
Yeah. With 3s for the C's for some reason.
Yeah. So, how about you? What's your initial thoughts on people with vanity plates or personalized number plates?
Generally negative. I don't.
How come?
I don't know. I kind of like them and I kind of hate them. Like I said before, I hate the ones that are too. It's too difficult to figure out what they mean. One of my pet peeves is people having the type of car that they have as their number plate. So someone who is driving a Monaro, and they have the number plate Monaro. It's like, mate, I know it's
right next to the badge of the car.
Yeah, I know it's a Monaro, mate. Holden conveniently put Monaro badges on the back of your car for exactly this situation.
Oh, one of my greatest fears is getting like a vanity plate for like a Christmas present.
Because then you're obligated to put it on your car.
Yeah, I kind of have this nightmare of like, the person giving it to me like standing around behind me like, go put it on. Yeah. And me just like reluctantly kneeling behind my car, unscrewing my normal registration plate to put this Danny boy or something on the back of my car.
So that reminds me...
And then never driving the car again.
Why don't you drive the car anymore,
everywhere.
Dad? That reminds me of someone who I work with, who I'll keep names out of this, but she was given a number plate as a gift from her husband, who probably thought he was being very thoughtful and original. And the number plate was her name, but then the digits 79, which, yeah, I think you figured it out. That was the year she was born. So she was quite pleased to get such a thoughtful gift, but also very disappointed in the fact that now everywhere she drives, people can very quickly work out how old she is.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, enough of that. But is there any... I guess there's no real practical use for them, is there?
No.
I mean, your car is essentially, it's registered. It's got those numbers there for a reason. I guess that's why they're called vanity plates.
That is exactly why they're called vanity plates, because there's no reason to have one.
You can really floss what sort of guy you are in 6 characters.
Yeah, I guess there is. Yeah, there's one reason to have them is, to quickly tell everyone that you're a wanker. Someone who's got a Rolls Royce driving around with the number plate cashed up.
Yep. Or pulling up, maybe behind like a little hatchback or something with like a little cutie or something as the number plate, and realizing that it's the boyfriend who's like driving the car
yeah.
to another place with his girlfriend.
It always cracks me up when you see a boyfriend obviously driving
some big meatloaf dude just like in the car and a little cutie with some maybe like
princess number plate or something.
Yeah, with some Playboy
stickers on the back window.
I guess you can tell a person.
Tell a
lot about a person from their number plate.
It's very similar to bumper stickers.
Absolutely.
Which I think we could do an entire episode just on bumper stickers.
Yeah, so we'll skip that one, but...
Having the model of your car as the number plate. The only thing worse than having the model of your car as your number plate is having the incorrect model or make as your number plate. So I have recently seen a few times an Audi driving around my suburb with the number plate Porsche. It's spelled in full, Porsche, on an Audi. Every time I think, did he used to have a
Did he used to
Porsche and he had to downgrade to an Audi, but he really wanted to keep the number plate? Is he
Yeah.
planning on
GFC
buying?
hit him hard.
Is he planning on buying a Porsche?
Yeah.
But thought he would start with the number plate.
Because that's all you can afford.
Yeah.
I mean, if you did see like, I mean, I'm horrible with cars, so maybe give me an example of like an expensive car.
I don't know, a Lamborghini.
Lamborghini. So if Lambo popped up when you were like looking for your vanity plate and you had like a little Ford Laser from '91, you'd buy a Lambo though, wouldn't you?
You probably would.
And you'd put it on the back, and you'd just piss everyone off. That is sort of the number plate that I would get, the vanity plate.
An ironic vanity plate.
An ironic one that people would be like, that prick. And there's me with the windows down, just with Queen coming out. I don't know, something like that.
In a similar vein, something that's quite funny is people who buy a number plate as an investment. And for those of you who can't see me because this is a podcast, I put investment in air quotes. I've seen people trying to flog number plates on eBay for $10,000, $15,000.
Wow.
Because they think, it's a rare number plate, and they think that people are going to pay ridiculous amounts of money for them. And usually these plates have been sitting on eBay for months and no one's biting, because who the fuck would pay $15,000 for a number plate?
It's true. Well, I mean, if you got the money,
I guess.
if you've already spent $12,000 on underglows, you may as well get a t-shirt while you're there.
Underglows. Oh my god, I can't remember the last time I saw a car that had underglow
You haven't been
lights.
to Northbridge on a Friday night very often.
No, surely cars do not have them anymore.
Actually, talking about cars going through the middle of the city, you had a story that you were telling me earlier about someone in Christchurch who used to have a
Oh,
particular number plate.
yeah, a wildly inappropriate number plate. When I was, so I'm from New Zealand, and
No.
yeah, I know the accent might not have given it away yet. And there's a main street in New Zealand called, in Christchurch. There's one main street in New Zealand because there's
Runs up the middle.
The 12 cars in New Zealand can only drive on the one main street. No, the main street of my hometown, Christchurch, is called Colombo Street. And the thing to do as a teenager on a Friday night is to just cruise up and down Colombo Street in your hotted up car, trying to pull chicks, basically. And
Pull
there were-
chicks.
Pull
Thanks,
chicks.
Dad.
Whatever the young kids call it these days. Tuning? Have you heard tuning?
Tuning.
That's
No.
that's
I've heard
a
of ghosting, but that's
ghost.
probably
That's,
complete
that's
opposite.
completely opposite. Anyway, yeah, and this guy used to go up and down. He had a Toyota Corolla that had been heavily modified, and he had the number plate U16 yet. For those of you who aren't from New Zealand, the age of consent in New Zealand is 16, so you can see how wildly inappropriate that plate was.
Did he just have like a police car just slowly following behind?
I don't think he was allowed near schools. We'll put it that way.
No, that's not something you'd like to see parked outside the school, would you? I guess there's a lot of businesses
Yeah,
who use vanity plates, which makes sense.
that does make sense.
Yeah.
Although what's funny is when a small business, like, I don't know, Joe's Plumbing, has the number plate Joe's 54. It's like, come on, Joe, you don't have 54 vans in your fleet,
No.
mate. No one's buying that.
I've never thought of that.
Speaking of business number plates, Dan, have you heard of the Industrial Foundation for Accident Prevention?
No.
If you were to
Not
make...
off the top of my head.
Not off
no.
the top of your head, no. If you had to make an acronym from that business name, what would it be?
I'll have to write this down. What was it?
Industrial
Yep.
Foundation
Foundation
for Accident
for...
Prevention.
Drop that one. Oh, IFAP.
Yep. So, the Industrial Foundation for Accident Prevention thought it would be great to buy personalised plates for their fleet of cars here in Perth, Western Australia. So, any day you could be driving down the freeway behind IFAP 16 or IFAP 32. The first time I saw this, I just about crashed my car laughing.
It's great marketing.
It is great marketing, but I don't think it was done deliberately.
You don't
this was
think?
I think this was a happy accident.
Oh, there'd be the marketing kid who's just like quietly thinking, these guys not quite sure what they're driving around in, right?
Well, going by the age of the woman who was driving that particular car, I don't think she would have known what IFAP
No.
means.
Okay, maybe not. Yeah. But
But still, I like it. Happy accidents or not, it's fantastic. All right. Anyway, business number plates. Put that aside. Any number plate to do with the Stig. Have you ever watched Top Gear?
I have.
You know the Stig?
I do know
The like mysterious racing driver in the
Yes.
white suit with the white helmet, and no
Helmet.
one knows who he is.
It's a mystery.
It's not Dave who's driving down Canning Highway
It's not.
in
it's
his
not
Corolla
I am the Stig.
with his "I am the Stig" number plate. No, Dave, you're not the Stig. All right.
You might drive like you think you're the Stig.
You might drive like an idiot. That doesn't make you a racing car driver.
Just because you don't indicate into the next lane doesn't mean you're the Stig.
Just because you rev your 1.2 litre Corolla out to the red line going down the freeway. Present number plates. So,
Present number.
for my girl.
For my girl, yeah.
For mum. For Liz. Sweet, but lame.
Necessary. Not really necessary. Unless someone's bought you the car, in
Yeah.
which case, maybe just
you
suck it up.
You'd feel bad taking it off when daddy's bought you a Mercedes for your 16th birthday. You're probably going to leave the daddy's girl number plate on there.
Yeah.
Well, that has
That has
has
too many connotations.
Trump and Ivanka connotations there.
Oh,
So, we've talked about bad number plates or things we hate about vanity plates, but I don't hate them entirely.
no.
I do like clever number plates. If you Google funny vanity plates and do an image search, you'll get plenty of
Highly
really,
recommend that.
yeah, really good examples. One of my favorites was a Chevrolet Impala with the number plate Vlad the.
Excellent.
So that's cool. Like, and anything that's clever enough that I sit there at a red light behind you and I have to work it out. And when I do work it out, if I have a little chuckle to myself, then I like it.
So we'll give Brownie points for creativity.
Yeah, points for creativity, but
Nothing too sort of in your face.
yeah, no bragging. Oh, electric car puns are the worst. So anyone who has a Tesla nowadays has to have an electricity-based pun.
Right.
So there's one not far from me with the number plate Sparks Fly.
Really.
Or no fuel, or no petrol, or electric. It's like, yeah, we get it, mate. You've got an electric car. You were
Maybe-
one of the lucky ones rich enough to buy a Tesla when they came out. Don't rub it in with your stupid plate.
What if you got a Tesla and put Edison on the number plate? How would that? Oh man, I gotta get a Tesla.
Okay, that's perfect. So
Okay,
we're gonna
that's the good number plate.
we're starting a Patreon to buy a Tesla.
Two Teslas.
Two Teslas. And then we'll have to fight over who has
Two
number
Tesla
plate
threes.
Edison.
Okay, so in closing, what are your thoughts on vanity plates, Scott?
I feel like I hate them more than I like them.
Yeah,
What do you think, Dan?
I don't know. I've never really been a fan. I'm on the fence, but I can't be on the fence.
No, we can't.
It's not how we work.
This isn't should we be on the fence about this.
No.
All right, I'm going to stake a claim for hate. I'm going to say we hate this. I don't think we hated anything in our first podcast, so let's hate this.
Okay. We'll hate vanity plates.
And you can all call me out when I'm 55 and have a number plate, vanity plate on my
You're driving around with a should we hate this vanity plate.
on my
That's a lot of characters.
on my midlife crisis.
Setting up another Patreon.
Red midlife crisis sports car. Yep. All right, let's get into part 2. Cyclists. People hate cyclists. Here in Perth, there is like vitriolic hatred from some people towards cyclists.
Like, incredible.
I've heard people say that they hate cyclists so much that they want to run them off the road. Like,
You only need to see like a Facebook post where the comment section is just people screaming absolute murder over these people who just are out for a ride.
any dash cam footage of a cyclist doing something slightly irresponsible has thousands of comments of people saying that that cyclist should be lynched.
Or dioramas of how cyclists should be staying inside a particular lane.
I think you mean diagrams?
Dioramas.
Dioramas. People
Yeah.
are
People are
getting
getting like the egg cartons
the
out.
paper mache.
Yeah,
and
absolutely. People just have this.
Lego bicycles,
Yep.
Matchbox cars, demonstrating why the cyclist was in the wrong.
And Scott, you were telling me earlier that a dude got stabbed.
Yeah, I heard on the radio, I don't know all of the particulars, but I do remember hearing on the radio only a couple of weeks ago that a cyclist here in Perth, I think the story went something along the lines of a motorist broke the new 1 meter rule. For those of you outside of WA, the 1 meter rule is just come in that all cars must give cyclists 1 meter of a 1 meter berth when they go past them. And yeah, this cyclist apparently, I think it went something along the lines of he knocked on the window to like remind the driver. I don't know how aggressively he reminded the driver, but to
Just
tell
a casual tap.
yeah,
probably.
to tell the driver that he had come too close to him and almost caused an accident. The car driver got out of the car. They got into an argument, which resulted in the cyclist being stabbed by the driver of the car.
So that's an extreme reaction
Yeah, that's
to an
pretty
entire
extreme.
group of people. Now, at the same time, I would never run anybody off the road.
You sure?
100%.
All right, that's good to know.
Yeah, I like to think that I'm the sort of guy that wouldn't kill a person.
You're an
Just for-
Australian hero, Dan.
I am an Australian hero. Thank you for acknowledging that. But there is definitely like a cockiness to some cyclists,
Yeah,
especially when you get the groups of maybe 20 dudes.
yeah, the peloton.
Is that a peloton?
That's called a peloton. Yeah, I think we should do the old debating thing where you define your terms. So, what are we referring to as a cyclist? I guess.
So, yeah, I mean, we're not necessarily talking about like the guy on his fixie who's
Yeah.
just out for a ride to get a six-pack or something. Like, ride anywhere, buddy.
Yeah,
Go for it.
I feel like someone getting on the bike to go down to the supermarket to get some milk and eggs or whatever is not an issue, and they're probably doing the right thing considering climate change and pollution and how bad for the environment cars are and all that sort of stuff. So more power to them.
There's a convenience about it as well. Absolutely. Just to be able to jump on your bike and ride down the end of the street.
And it's better for your health and all that sort of thing.
100%.
But yeah, so the peloton guys.
The guys that are out 8 o'clock in the morning.
8 o'clock, 6 o'clock, mate. I remember last time I was back home in New Zealand hearing on the radio, there was a talk back about this exact subject, and they were referring to them as mammals.
Mammals.
I don't know if that term has made it over here in Australia yet, but middle-aged men in lycra. Mammals.
Yes.
It's not the Tour de France,
No.
Jerry.
No.
You're a fucking accountant, mate. You don't need to be wearing skin tight lycra and cleats to get to work in the morning, pal.
Yeah. Especially when we all know you're just riding to the cafe to read the Sunday Times.
You've got to shave that 10/10 of a seconds off by wearing skin tight clothing over your completely out of shape 55-year-old body.
And there is an arrogance about them. So I think there is... I don't think anybody is innocent in this debate.
No, I think we've all done the wrong thing, probably, from time to time. We've all either been an irresponsible person on a bike. I used to bike a lot, and I used to run red lights, and I used to cross when I shouldn't cross, and all that sort of stuff. But I never wore lycra, so it was okay.
No, absolutely. Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, but then again, you have to also feel for cyclists because as soon as you're anywhere near, let's say, a bike path or a pathway, people will scream at you because it's a footpath. This is for people, pedestrians. Get on the road.
Yeah.
So as soon as you're on the road, people say, get on the footpath.
I feel like here, where we live at least, there's an infrastructure problem. I've seen video of, I think it might be Holland or maybe Norway, one of those countries where they generally get things right.
Absolutely embrace it.
And I think the way they had it is they had the footpath where people walk, then they had a cycle path for bikes only, then they had the parked cars, and then the traffic lanes. So all the cyclists are protected by parked cars, and they're on a separate they're on separate real estate to the pedestrians.
The Netherlands definitely embrace a bike culture. And again, they like, and the thing is, like, motorists definitely, they grow up knowing that there's bicyclists.
Bicyclists?
Bicyclists.
Look, don't bring their sexuality into this, Dan.
They definitely, like, they grow up knowing that cyclists are part of, like, the road system.
Yep.
I'm doing a great job
Traffic,
today.
part of the traffic.
Part of the traffic. And so there is an understanding there. Whereas I think we have this almost Neanderthal sort of like, it doesn't make sense.
The one thing I've seen in comments that makes me unbelievably angry, okay, that's probably an exaggeration, ticks me off slightly, is that...
Slightly frustration.
Yeah.
Slight frustration.
People who say cyclists shouldn't be allowed on the road because they don't pay road taxes. So, like, road taxes built into your registration for your car, right? So these people say, they shouldn't be allowed their bikes on the road because they don't have to register them, which means they haven't paid the road tax to use the road, which I have paid, which means I get to use the road in my car. It's like, hang on, do you think that these people, that cyclists literally only own a bicycle, that they don't own a car, that they cycle everywhere they go?
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's not like you're getting stuck in, like, bicycle traffic at 5 p.m. on the way home.
Not generally, yeah. It's not the cyclists who are causing most of your traffic problems in your commute.
No. It's just some dude casually on his way home.
Although I would say, where I live, there is, so I have quite a commute to work. It's almost an hour, so I have to leave quite early. I'm usually out the door about 6:45, and I guess because they think this is a time period where there are fewer cars on the road, like, I have been stuck behind the peloton quite a few times, and it is frustrating. They make the argument that they go as fast as the cars, so it shouldn't be a problem. They don't. They're not doing. It's a 60k road, and they're not doing 60ks. It's a single lane road as well, so they're taking up the whole lane, and they're doing 40, which is pretty fast. I probably couldn't cycle at 40 k's an hour.
Yep.
But it's not as fast as the speed limit. And I understand the safety in numbers idea that they, I'm more likely to see them when they're in a pack, and I'm less likely to accidentally hit them. But they are slowing me down when I'm trying to get to work.
Yes. But are they slowing you down because they're spread shoulder to shoulder? Whereas if they were in a single file, maybe that was probably a better, more efficient way for them to ride in their peloton?
There is a cycle lane on this particular road. And they're not using the cycle lane. They could fit in the cycle lane single file, yes, but they're not. They're 4 or 5 abreast in the main traffic lane. Which, yeah, I don't know.
But correct.
No, you go.
No, correct me if I'm wrong. It's not illegal for cyclists to be in a normal lane of traffic.
I actually don't know.
No,
I don't know what the law is on that here.
Maybe over a certain speed limit.
Maybe. I don't know. Obviously, you can't take a bicycle on the freeway.
No.
Because not many people can cycle at 100 k's an hour.
Anybody listening at home, please feel free to comment. #should we hate this? And let us know.
Lycra. I'm going to rag on Lycra for a bit more. Have you ever been in a cafe of a Sunday morning, enjoying a coffee, maybe some eggs Benny, or, avocado on toast, because according to the Liberals, you're never going to buy a house.
Just throwing your mortgage out the window.
Yeah.
Potential mortgage.
Doing the millennial thing, sitting in a cafe, sipping your flat white and eating your avocado on toast that you paid $17 for. And Jerry from accounting walks in, and his crutch bulge is right in your face. They've parked 1,600 bikes on the footpath outside of the cafe, obstructing any access, and they've all come in stinking to high heaven in skin-tight Lycra, showing far too much of their junk than I ever wanted to see. So yeah, that's annoying. Like, don't do that. I don't want to see your junk, Jerry.
Sounds like you've been scarred. It's very specific. I think there's definitely that side to the debate, but I think we should probably get back to cyclists in general, just people on their bikes whether or not obeying the road. But again, like it's that absolute hate that people have for cyclists, and I think it's maybe a little unwarranted.
It's very unwarranted. It's insane that you would hate someone that much over how they choose to get to work or how they choose to get around.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a sense of arrogance from the car drivers as well, I think, that somehow, because they have the 3-ton death machine or 2 tons or however much a car weighs, that people should get out of their way rather than you're driving a very fast and dangerous piece of equipment. Maybe you should be careful. I think some of this comes from fear as well, though. No one wants to be the person who hits a cyclist. No one wants that to happen. So when you see a cyclist do something slightly irresponsible, you worry about the consequences of what would happen if you were to hit them and whether you would have been in the wrong or they were in the wrong. No one wants to be put in that situation, which is where I think some of this anger comes from.
I don't know. I reckon there's some drivers out there who would quite gladly sideswipe a dude on his bike if there was no dash cam or helmet cam footage.
If they knew they could get away with it.
If they knew they could get away with it, I wouldn't put it past a lot of people.
You have a very dim view of your fellow man.
I do. I absolutely do. I think there just needs to be an understanding on both sides of the fence, you know? Like, drivers just need to be aware of cyclists, and cyclists just need to be aware that, you know, if they're riding, to just maybe just keep inside their lanes. And, you know, over time, infrastructure will eventually expand to allow more people to, you know, access to cycling on main roads. Or
I think some problems come in where, there are places near my place where there are bike paths provided to a point, and then they just seem to disappear. So what are you supposed to? Are you supposed to go up on the footpath and potentially hit pedestrians and children and things, or are you supposed to go on the road and get in the way of drivers and upset them? Yeah, there's a failure of city design that is definitely part of this issue.
So it is an infrastructure thing. If there was more infrastructure for cyclists to feel safer on the roads and more infrastructure for motorists to feel safer, maybe not get slowed down or anything by cyclists, then everyone can just get to their destination in a happy manner.
Why can't we all just get along?
So what's our conclusion? Do you think we should hate cyclists?
I think it would be very unfair to come down against cyclists because, as I mentioned before, more and more people are going to have to find alternate means of transportation in order to curb climate change and all the other horrible things that are going on.
I don't think we should hate cyclists. I think we should embrace people that are out there getting exercise and reducing carbon emissions, maybe. But yeah, there just needs to be better infrastructure so that everyone can share the roads in a safe environment.
Yeah, like many things, I think too many of us are taking extreme positions. Too many motorists are saying they hate cyclists and they're the worst thing ever, and too many cyclists are doing the opposite. So everyone just needs to chill.
Chill out, share the roads, and enjoy getting to your destination however you see fit.
Cool. So the official should we hate this stance on cyclists is no. You shouldn't hate them. Thanks for listening to episode 2 of Should We Hate This? In summary, vanity plates.
We hate them.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Get rid of them.
And cyclists?
We don't hate cyclists.
No, we can't hate cyclists. All right, time for the quickfire round. Dan, what do you hate this week?
2.5 Men.
Why?
Because I couldn't think of anything else this week. And I came unprepared, but it's an oldie but a goldie.
Fair enough. And what do you love this week?
The Leftovers. It's probably the best drama on TV at the moment, although it's finished, and you should all check it out.
I think I will.
Scott, what do you hate this week?
Plastic straws at a bar.
Why?
I don't need a straw to drink my gin and tonic.
They're unnecessary. It's landfill, really, isn't it?
They are. It's a waste.
And what do you love?
The Winter Olympics.
Get into it.
I was watching it this morning.
Fantastic.
Thanks very much for listening to the show. Let us know how you feel about today's topics, or suggest your own via our socials. You can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Should We Hate This, or on Twitter at SWHT Podcast. Look out for our next episode wherever you get your podcasts. See you next time.
Bye.